Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the I was about to say the old MCU crew, but we're not old. Okay, we're hip. Jesse, tell the kids how hip we are.
I'm so hip, I gotta get a replacement. Old man jokes.
I guess I'm old because I'm laughing at that as well. I guess I'm old.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. The worst part about that is I thought you were going to go with a sheesh joke because that's where my joke is. That's where my brain is.
Look, I'm hip with the kids. I still
Man,
don't know what
I was
that means,
watching.
but I get it.
Let's say I was watching let's just go with an esports presentation last night. Okay, esports presentation, and someone hit a shot, and one of the commentators just goes sheesh, and I actually wanted to die in that moment, in that 4-second period of watching this shot get hit. And the commentator just saying, sheesh, I wanted to die. I wanted to end it. It's bad. It's bad.
Do you think we'll ever get to the point where, like, professional sports, most of the commentators will just end up being former players who are just older and not like a dude who just watches a lot of esports?
I think, within esports. I thought you were talking about traditional sports. Because I think we're there in traditional sports in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Most of the people that are on network TV when it comes to like football or basketball or whatever, like former players or coaches.
I think
what I'm saying is like,
I think we are there in the League of Legends world. Most of the league commentators are either former pro or former failed pro players.
Now, do they say sheesh?
I think they say it as a joke, but when it's happening in the match, they don't. Like when they're in the match, they do not. They keep it professional.
How do the kids respond? Are the kids like, well, that is relevant to my interests?
I don't know.
Are they like grandpa saying sheesh? It's no longer cool.
I don't know. I think it's a mixed bag. I think you get a lot because the audience range is so, it's young. It's 13 to upper 30s for esports. It's kind of a wider range in a lot of ways. So I think you get it.
Are like the 13-year-olds still into the esports?
Depending on the esport. Yeah. I would say like Halo.
I don't know anything.
I think Halo and Call of Duty is younger skewed, but I think League and like CS is an older demographic.
Well, I'm not sure about Halo being younger skewed because I realized based off of the discourse that there are a lot of young kids. I had this rant on my stream.
Okay.
That they have not been around long enough for there to have been a good Halo game. And they don't realize what a big fucking deal Halo was. Like,
true.
They missed that. They missed that, like, being 10 and having a LAN party with your friends and like just
carrying
the sheer
a CRT TV over.
Halo was a phenomenon.
Right.
Like it was a gaming phenomenon. That was like, I remember Master Chief being sponsored by Oakley and they were like, oh, the visor is by Oakley. Like it was like your parents knew Mario and then the Halo. And it was like, that was it, like it was that huge of a deal. It was the game, the one. And then you have like a lot of, because I used to work at a game store, right? And we sold board games, magic cards, and retro games and video games. And there were a lot of kids who would come in, this newer generation coming up, and they've only been around for the bad Halos. I hesitate to say that. I feel like that's not that nice or that fair.
I think it's fair.
343 Halos.
Yeah.
They've only been around since like the 360 was their first console. I know we're going to turn it, our bones are just going to turn into dust. But the 360 is like their first console, and they've only known the game since Reach. And I mean, I like Reach, but it's not the best Halo game. So for them, they're like, why do people like this game? It's irrelevant. And for us, we're like, yo, this is the game. Like, are you kidding me? This was a phenomenon, a gaming phenomenon, but they don't get it. Same thing with when you talk to people about Gears of War, people who weren't around for the hype behind like Gears of War 2. They just know Gears of War, is it the fourth one or Judgment or whatever onwards, and they're like, why do people care about this game? And I'm like, this was the friggin' game for like 3 or 4 years. The 360 was the console because it had like all of these games like Halo. And I think like now people just don't get it, where they're like, how does the Xbox compete with Sony and all this? And I'm like, because there was a small pocket of time, about a 3 to 4 year pocket of time, where the Xbox was the home for every good co-op game.
Yeah. Well, it was the best. It was the best console back in the day.
Two things. I'm slowly losing my mind.
All right.
One.
All right.
Currently, I would say between PlayStation and Xbox, Xbox is the better deal right now because you get all those
Game
free
Pass
games.
is insane.
But like, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
But number 2, yes, Halo 1, 2, and 3 are an incredible experience.
Correct.
And everyone who played them, when you went to go finish the fight, that was the hypest shit.
That was the best marketing campaign potentially in all of gaming.
Incredible. Especially considering the way Halo 2 ended. Everyone was like, what?
Yeah.
The way they were just like, finish the fight. You were like, that's goddamn right, Master Chief. Like, you were ready. I just looked it up because I was like, I need to look this up.
When did it come out?
Halo 3, September 25th, 2007. So there are people right now who are 14.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say all the way to 18, 19, 20. Who did not even have the possibility to recognize what Halo was.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who are now like that. Seeing the numbers is blowing my mind.
They think we're crazy.
Uh-huh.
They think we're insane. When we get hyped for a new Halo game, they think we have lost our fucking marbles. They're like, these goddamn millennials are insane. There hasn't ever been a good Halo, and we're like, you weren't there.
You missed it.
You weren't there. You don't know what it was like. You weren't there.
I can visually, in my mind's eye, and I don't do this often, but I can see the commercial where I'm running through like the desert and he drops a shield. And, like,
it was a great marketing campaign. It was one of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best of all time. I have watched that fucking diorama like 4 or 5 times where they're just like slow zooming through it all. And then Chief looks at the camera at the end and then it says believe. Cause that shit's fucking hype as hell.
No, I was lucky enough because, you know, my strategy background, I was invited to 343 Industries Halo Museum for Halo Wars 2.
Yeah.
Not for Halo, but for the strategy game.
Sure.
So when I went there, like, it's hard to not get emotional because their lunchroom is designed as like the set from Forward Unto Dawn.
Yep.
And like, even now when you hear that music, that da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, like, it makes you so emotional, you know, like, it's weird. Like, it's this cultural zeitgeist. You had to be there. And if you weren't there, you just look at it and you're like, why are all these old people so fucking hype? And I'm like, there's nothing. There's like, it's even now I've been playing the crap out of Halo Infinite.
Uh-huh.
And every time I'm in the lobby, normally I mute the game music and play my own music. This is the first time I'm like, I forgot how fucking sweet the Halo OST is. Like, even the new one, I'm like, this music has no right being this good. But like, Unreal Tournament and Halo always had amazing tracks. Like, they never did not have good tracks. Oh God, did I disconnect in the middle of that?
No,
okay, I'm back.
No, we heard it all. We heard it all.
Oh, we heard it.
Yeah, we heard it. So did everyone else.
Oh, we heard it.
Jeez.
Boomer.
God, boomer.
Yeah.
Fucking old person.
I stand by the fact that the best Vine ever. This is how I know I'm old. I'm like, the best Vine. The best Vine were those boys in the bathroom doing the Halo OS. That was always funny.
I don't know if I ever saw that.
Oh yeah.
Yes. They do the harmonies.
Like, using bathroom acoustics. It's so good.
I still hum the Halo theme all the time.
Yeah.
And just various moments. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, now that we've let our entire audience, now the cat's out of the bag that we're all old.
What? Jay who?
Let's talk about the MCU Crew. Hawkeye 1 and 2, episode 1 and 2 are out.
Haters.
But the new news, the big news, that Spider-Man movies tickets are available. And they're fucking sold out. I couldn't get a fucking ticket. What
I'm gonna be honest.
What the fuck? They went on sale like 3 hours ago.
People are
I'm not
hyped,
sure
dude.
I would have wanted to get a ticket because that means the theater's packed. And y'all, last time I went to a movie theater, I know JP talked about this too.
Oh,
They're
I
not
still
doing
bought
the
4
social.
seats. Yeah, I still bought 4 seats for 2 people. Yeah, 100%.
They're not doing the social distancing thing anymore. And that's scary because holiday season, people are traveling. They're getting together with their families. We're talking about groupings, and they're going to be all packed into these movie theaters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go opening day. That's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
We got a new variant on the loose.
It's true.
Not everybody has their booster. Like, I'm not trying to be that person, the Debbie Downer. But man, imagine me getting through 2 years of this and then getting COVID. I would be pissed. I'd be throwing hands in the movie theater.
Here's the other thing too, is that would be about 2 weeks after Thanksgiving-ish, maybe 3 weeks really. But that's prime COVID incubation, you know? That's
Exactly. That means you're contagious. And people have been traveling for the holiday season because finally people are like, oh yeah, it's okay. Travel has opened back up. It's like, we got a new variant. Not everyone has their booster.
Yeah.
You got to do it. You got to do it the smart way. 11 p.m. showing on a Wednesday.
I went.
That's when you go.
I went for a late night Sunday showing, and there was only 2 people in the theater so far that had bought tickets. But Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at like prime time, like 6 or 7 p.m., all sold out, all completely sold out. Which is, I was telling Jesse before we started, it's very strange to see that in a post-COVID world, because I haven't seen a theater sold out in 2 years, right? Like
it's hype. The kids love the Spider-Man. The kids love the Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, shout out to Soapy Pickles in my chat saying Omicron roll out. Good job. Good job.
Why'd they have to name it that?
I don't know. I mean, look, if you want the boomers to be afraid, you start naming shit after Transformers. That's what you do.
Yeah, Decepticon means they're not going to trust it. They're going to be like, that doesn't sound real to me. It sounds like a deception. It's like, oh, they're good. They're good.
Yeah, where's fucking Starscream? Get Starscream in here.
Now, if they said it was the Optimus, like the Optimus variant, I would be like, you better believe that's going to screw with people. You all get that vaccine.
For some reason, I want to call, and I know it's not, but I want to call, it was just Jazz. I was about to say, where's DJ Jazzy Jeff, the Transformer? But it was just Jazz.
No, that's just Jazz. Yeah.
It's just Jazz. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, tickets are sold out. It was wild. I guess people are really excited about that Spoodermans. That's I was crazy to see.
I saw a guy post an entire video. This is the level of excitement. Guy posted an entire video, and it was based off of a newsprint ad for Spider-Man from some South American country, and I do not know which one it was.
Okay.
But it like has sort of like cutouts of various scenes, and one of the cutouts, it's a black and white photo of Spider-Man, but in the background is like half the head of another Spider-Man, and he's like, confirmation! And I was like, oh boy, people are really excited for this. They're like, anything they can grab onto.
It's kind of interesting to think about the idea that like this has been 20 years of buildup if the other Spider-Man are in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've knocked it out of the park with this marketing because I've never understood it, but kids love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What was your favorite superhero when you were a kid? I'm gonna be honest, mine was not Spider-Man.
Mine was not Spider-Man.
For some reason, kids friggin' love Spider-Man. I don't get it, but I'm not saying Spider-Man sucks. I'm just saying that was not I was like Batman and Wolverine. That was my two.
Wolverine was good. But that's because we grew up with the animated show and the comics in the early 90s. And
I suppose,
Do you think there's an old interview? Oh man. There's an old interview where they're talking about Spider-Man and how Stan Lee says that the reason he thinks Spider-Man was successful is because he is a superhero that does not show any skin. And so that means anyone watching can be
relate.
under the mask.
Yeah.
And he's like, we didn't intend for that to happen, but it's a really great side effect of the fact that, you know, underneath the costume, anyone can be Spider-Man. So it's much more likable that way. I don't know if that's true, because I know there are many other comic book heroes that are all completely covered. But
it makes sense.
Him being also like a young kid, being working class, having to like deal with school shit. Like, I feel like he's more relatable to a wider audience than being a billionaire or being a mutant with regenerative powers or being like, there's something about him that is very low level. And because he keeps most of what he does street level, you know, he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's I don't know. It's a fascinating interview. I'm not sure how much of it is true, but it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not wired that way. I don't stand superheroes because they're relatable. I want them to be unrelatable. Why the hell? What kind of loser fantasizes over their own life? If you're gonna fantasize, why not be a mutant?
Whoa, don't. And that's like 90% of our audience, Bronze here. What do you? Come on, retract that statement. Get it out of here.
I'm just saying,
longer.
Like, if you're gonna,
we gotta.
If you're gonna fantasize, why are you fantasizing about being broke? You should fantasize about being Batman. If you can choose
Bronze,
to be yourself or Batman, you be Batman.
Can I tell you why everyone wanted to be Spider-Man? Because Batman didn't have Mary Jane. Let's be real. You're
goddamn right.
I'm just letting you know right now. Letting you know right now. If I could choose between being me and an X-Men, I would choose the X-Men. Being Storm or Rogue.
Well, yeah.
Psylocke.
But that's not the question, because of course they're going to choose them over you, Bronze. Like, duh. You know what I'm saying? The question is, if you had to choose Spider-Man or an X-Man, you would choose an X-Man. That's what you should have said. Right?
I don't, man.
I'd go Spider-Man. Because look, here's the thing. Most of Spider-Man's villains, they're villains, but there's not like an X-Man villain. There's not like an Omega level mutant. You're not fighting some guy who's going to fucking destroy you by looking at you. You had all the Spider-Man villains who just kind of, they fight him. It's all a fair fight.
I think I'd want to be Jubilee. Not much is expected of Jubilee.
No, Jubilee sucks. Jubilee's always
right? Have feedback.
I had a friend group and they were all talking about all the different X-Men that we could be, and they were like, JP's Jubilee, and I said, fuck you, and I left that friend group and I never talked to him again.
I'd be happy being Jubilee because not much is expected of me and I can do fireworks with my hands. So I'm like pretty okay. I'm like,
that's all you can do though.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like, I don't need all those powers.
Isn't Jubilee a vampire? Isn't she a vampire?
Not anymore. She got cured.
She got cured. Okay. Blade helped her out.
Basic level 1 Jubilee. That's where that's as much as I want. It's too much responsibility to be like one of the X-Men who has to save the world. I want to be one of the X-Men who's like, I'm here if you need me.
Stupid powers.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Bad powers. If Jubilee gets
so you
to the
just
movies,
be gold balls?
Yeah.
Jesse, you just be gold balls?
Yeah, that's me. It's
fun.
I don't need a lot. I'm fine. All the X-Men is just too much for me. I'm like,
maybe so.
I'm still reeling from the fact that people don't want to be Batman.
Batman's parents died. He's
Batman's a mess.
It's kind of an absolute mess at all times. So
yeah, but when you're a kid,
is a living hell.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you're not that smart. When you're a kid, you're like, Batman's rich.
Oh, so you're saying that
he's got a cool car.
The kid logic has to be weighed in here.
I am the knight. Well, that's what I'm saying. When I was a kid, I definitely wanted to be Batman. I was not like, I want to be Spider-Man. I was like, I'm the Bat.
Could you imagine?
I have a big car.
Dealing with the Joker would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
It would suck. You would just be like drinking or eating a steak, and then you get a call from Alfred like, dude, the Joker just murdered someone, and you got to go deal with it. And you're like, I was enjoying a goddamn steak, goddamn it.
Yeah, that's my question for you, Bronze. Do you like the idea of being Bruce Wayne or the idea of being Batman?
Okay, let me put myself in Child Bronze's brain.
Okay.
Batman.
Okay. And is it because of the bat suit alone, or is it because of the gadgets? Why Batman?
He's like a drag queen. It's the showmanship. You know, the like there's showmanship there. The way he's like rappelling everywhere. I am the knight, you know, and you're just like, whoa, what is this?
Are you telling me Jubilee isn't showmanship? Because frankly, I think we could do
Jubilee.
A
fucking
Jubilee
sucks.
Batman pair up.
That's the official MCU Crew statement on Jubilee. She sucks. She's a
You could like swing in and be like, "I'm here to stop you, Joker." I'll be like, "Me too." I'll show up with you. Like, don't worry, I got your back, Batman.
Oh my God, it's awful. It's awful. It's bad stuff. Bad stuff.
You guys don't think Batman has a lot of showmanship? Right. You don't think Batman has a lot of showmanship? Like, he does the most. Yeah. He does the most. Like, his car, his outfit, his gadgets. You're just like, bro, what are you doing? He just really likes bats. And I think that's kind of the thing when you're a kid is like, when you really like something like dinosaurs,
I think that's
you
more
would
Bruce
totally
Wayne.
Dress up as a pterodactyl and have like a pterodactyl car and a pterodactyl, you know, and be like, I'm Pterodon. That's like
Pterodon. That's the pterodactyl hero that you went Pterodon. Like, is that like terror and then dawn at the end? So you're like, okay,
yeah, because he's a terror.
Yeah, he's terror.
Pterodactyl.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Say what you want about Batman.
It's no Jubilee.
He's really good at marketing. He has a light in the sky.
True.
He does. He did put a spotlight on there with some metal, with a metal bat in front of it. And it kind of worked out.
Bad. If you need a Robin, I'm totally in. As long as I can say like, holy expletive Batman, like, you know.
Wait, can I be
holy
like
shit, Batman? That's what I'll say.
I would have to be a villain in that world, and so I would have to be.
No way.
I'd be like Mr. Freeze.
You are Gordon.
I'm Gordon.
Get out. Yeah, you're Gordon.
You're Gordon.
But no, 100%. I don't think I'm Gordon.
You're Gordon.
Gordon's like way too good of a person for me to be Gordon.
You're Gordon, bro. Bro,
this is just like Jubilee all over again.
Wicked Witch of the East, bro.
I'd be the Riddler.
Came down in a bubble, bro.
I'd be the Riddler, 100%.
You're Gordon, bro.
Anyways, we did have some Spider-Man news today. Not just the tickets. Amy Pascal. I was trying to find like what her actual title was, but it just says that she's rich when you go her name. It just says that Amy Beth Pascal is an American business executive and film producer. It doesn't. What is she? She is the chairperson of the motion picture group of Sony Pictures Entertainment and co-chairperson of SPE, including Sony Pictures Television. But that's only till 2015. So what the fuck is her actual title now? I don't know. I don't know how she's involved with Sony, but she's a big wig over there. She gave an interview this morning with Fandango, then went live, and she just casually dropped the idea that they're making 3 more movies with Tom Holland and Marvel. Like, she's put it out there. There's 3 more Spider-Mans coming. So I guess we don't have to worry about Tom Holland leaving anytime soon, because we got 3 more films, and it's a collaboration that's going to continue. And now I don't even know. I guess that means we're going to go like, we're getting like college Spider-Man, or does he even go to college? Is he a college dropout? I don't know. You guys are both reading something, and so I'm just like stretching this segment out and saying I don't know as long as possible till someone. It's Jubilee all over again. Sorry.
No, I went to go. So I Googled Amy Pascal because I have no idea who Amy Pascal is. I'm sure I should.
Me too.
And I ended up trying to read while you were talking about it. I was trying to read up on who Amy Pascal is, and I'm not sure I still understand. I guess she's like a bigwig. Yeah. I know that she hobnobs with like all the celebrities.
Correct.
So like cool. But yeah, when it comes to 3 more movies, I would assume, but that doesn't necessarily mean 3 Spider-Man movies.
Chat just said the same thing, and I guess that makes sense. So do you think we get another standalone Spider-Man, or is this the last one?
I think this is going to be the last standalone, but Spider-Man's going to be with like other people in other movies. And then he'll be in the, she said 3 Spider-Man movies, huh? It doesn't necessarily mean...
this is it right here. This is the interview. It says, as you wrap up the trilogy of this films in collaborations with Marvel Studios. And then she says, can I say something about that? And Fandango just says, sure. So this is not the last movie we're going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We're getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. It isn't just part of, we're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going to go on to the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies. So that does make it seem like there's actually Spider-Man movies and not just collaborating.
Yeah, it could very well. I just don't know what it means, only because Sony has a history of like, well, we own the property, so let's make a thing. It doesn't have to be good, but we'll just make it. And so I'm curious what these films will be. But it definitely seems like them saying, hey, we're going to make more means we are still in bed with Marvel. And so don't count old Sony out yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's another reason that they can keep the IP of Spider-Man.
Right. I'm just trying to think like who else he would, from a story perspective. It makes sense for the Doctor Strange. I shouldn't say Doc Strange. But there's not really like another character that he needs to, or that he can team up with on that level. I don't think. Unless they start dropping like Wolverine or some shit. And then we get like a Venom. Wolverine Spider-Man crossover. They could do Venom, but
what if the post-credits thing is Venom?
I don't know, man. That honestly is what bothers me the most, is that Sony's like trying to shoehorn Venom into this whole thing. And I just keep Spider-Man out of my Venom. Or keep Venom out of my Spider-Man.
If they were smart, they wouldn't try to do a Sinister Six thing, which I think is what this movie is. The best we're going to get of that. Well, if they were smart, they would do things like way off, like Spider-Man X Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like things that people want to see that are just ludicrous.
Yeah.
I would love for that to happen. If it was like, in this movie, Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Wolverine get caught up in a thing, I would be like, that might be the most fan. Yeah, like that is the most fan-friendly movie I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and Tom Holland. Sign me up.
Yeah, now that's what the multiverse should exist for.
True.
That right there.
True.
To have those 3 together would be perfect.
Yeah. It would be good. They could also wait till introduce like the Fantastic Four, then do like a Spider-Man Fantastic Four crossover. Or they could also just do a Miles Morales. They could just introduce him. Bring in some multiple Spider-Man. If they bring in the entire Spider-Verse, though, and then that like mixes with the rest of the MCU, that'd be kind of fucking weird.
Imagine, like, I think in our minds, we're thinking that because everyone wants to see the 3 Spider-Men together, that's what's going to happen. But like, imagine if there was a world where all this, like, at the end of that trailer, where he's like, they're all coming through. Like, what if the last 10 minutes of this movie is every Spider-Man? They were just like, throw them all in there.
They just do like a Madam Web moment or something.
Every single one, just like as crazy as possible. I know that's not what they're going to do, but like in my perfect weird world, they were just like, it's every Spider-Man.
I mean, I could see it happening, and I could see, I can already like see the response Doctor Strange would give that, right? From like, from the character position and from the actor position, but I don't know, maybe they could do it. It'd be weird though.
But it would also canonize
Spider-Verse.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything in the Spider-Verse would be canon, which would be pretty fun. Just to like really
well, that's
go out there
probably
and
the end goal from Sony, right? Is they want to canonize all that. They want that. They want those tendrils in as many MCU properties as possible so they can continue to make films.
It is absolutely brilliant on Sony's part to be like, hey, look, all those Spider-Men we made, those still count and are part of your MCU. So enjoy, nerds.
Yeah.
Like, that is brilliant. So
yeah. I bet you somewhere like, I don't know, 30, 40 years from now, there will be a movie about how all of this came to be in the boardrooms behind the scenes of like, we don't have enough money for that. And then it's like Kevin like slams his fist down on it. He's like, 10 years, we're going to do a culmination movie and it's going to beat Avatar. And then like some weird music will play and then it'll skip ahead and it'll happen.
Do you think that was, I would love to know.
There was definitely arguments.
Well, I mean, at some point, because if you remember, there was 2 big debate moments that we all were not privy to. One was when they first were trying to get Spider-Man in the MCU.
Right.
And they didn't have the rights to it. And then suddenly Spider-Man is in Civil War. And everyone's like, oh, how'd that happen? And then there was another point in time where they were like, well, there's not going to be another Spider-Man movie. And then all of a sudden there was. And I wonder if that was just like bluffing or if behind the scenes they were like, look, we'll do a movie where all the Spider-Men are in, and it's like all your movies are now part of the MCU, and I feel so you can re-release them and resell them, like that kind of thing. I wonder.
It's probably a lot of just random things that like them releasing Spider-Verse and then it doing as well as it did probably made Marvel look a second time and be like, oh fuck, like we got to work with them, right? Like,
sure,
this is actually doing well. It's critically doing well, monetarily doing well. Like we got to work with them. And then it's also the type of thing too, where I think, Kevin has, Mr. Feige has so much pull that like, if he really wants something, he can just like fight for it and it'll eventually happen. Right. Like the mouse will give him the money for it. And he probably did that, for a couple of, Spider-Man related things with Sony. Where he was just like, he walked out of a room and like said, fucking figure it out. Then the next day they figured it out, right? The lawyers got together and they figured out how they can make that work both monetarily and legally. But he definitely had to fight for some stuff. I think he's probably been fighting for everything since Iron Man 1, right? There's been so many different stories of him fighting the, not necessarily like the writer's room, but like the creative committee that they often talk about, where they wanted to take things a certain way and he said no, and like struck down so many different paths that the MCU could have gone in. And that's been pretty widely written about, I think, for the most part. But
that's interesting. It does put a lot of the pressure on him. If things are successful, he
hasn't fucked up yet.
Like, well, I mean, like there's some things that are pretty jank, but I think it's interesting that if something doesn't end up well, he's never the one to blame. It's always someone else.
Mm.
So like it's fascinating to see the niche he's crafted for himself.
He's got like a bulletproof vest to a lot of like.
Yeah, he really does. Like if a movie isn't great or if a TV show isn't great, everyone's just like, oh, well, actor, writer, director, this, that, whatever. And he's kind of above it. But if things are amazing, everyone's like, that's my boy.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. That's, I think, it for the old Spider-Man.
I just thought it was a marketing ploy.
For what? That Kevin was a marketing ploy?
That's why they brought in all the Spider-Men. In the sense of like...
Oh.
Because that's kind of where I was going with like, kids love Spider-Man. And then I got sidetracked by who did people want to be when they were kids. Like, kids love Spider-Man. But if you talk to elder millennials, for them, what's-his-face is the Spider-Man. Gosh, he's such a great actor, and I can't think of his name right now. Old Seabiscuit.
Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire, thank you.
Okay.
Tobey Maguire is their Spider-Man. When you talk to people that are like...
It's generational.
Younger. Yeah. So by bringing them all in, you hit like 3 different age demographics on what would be like a movie that would normally be probably more appealing to kids. I'm not saying adults don't watch Spider-Man. I'm just saying there is a subset of people that do like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man more than Tom Holland. And because I see them on Twitter all the time. I see it all the time where they say, oh, this is my Spider-Man, and it's a Tobey Maguire gif, and it has like 50,000 likes.
Their avatar is them like recreating the Tobey Maguire kiss, all that stuff.
Yeah. And I was like joking about somebody photoshopping Tobey Maguire into the MCU. And there's like a series of YouTube videos called Tobey in the MCU.
Yeah.
But they have tons of views. Like, this is someone's full-time gig because people wanted Tobey in the MCU. Mm-hmm. So I think it's that same thing we're talking about with with Halo and stuff, where it's like, or Xbox, like for people that were there for that magic of the Raimi Spider-Mans, they are still holding on to that because it was very different than the Tom Holland vibes, like not even close. And so this is their best way of hitting up both demographics.
Yeah. I mean, it'll definitely capture what's the old saying? You cast a wider net, you bring in more fish or whatever.
I mean, it depends on how that net is cast. Obviously, if it's
cast with a spun like you're supposed to do, or a spin like you're supposed to do.
If you watch the last Star Wars movie, you know that attempt to like make everyone happy made no one happy. That was a garbage film. And, you can try to make everyone happy with this, but I hope they just tell a story. And if the others happen to be in it, great. If they aren't in it, I cannot wait to see what the internet says. That'll be wild. If it's like, you guys just made it up and we told you we weren't in it. We told you numerous times we weren't in it.
Somewhere in Canada, a movie theater leaked a cast list and they were in it. They were on it. So.
Yeah, but like.
I think they're in that film.
What if that's also a lie?
I think Canada doesn't lie. That's against you actually lose citizenship.
I mean, I believe that. I have all the things I believe.
Get deported from the country.
Yeah. It's just how it goes. Canadians in the chat will verify, and they can't lie.
That's actually how French Canada came to be.
They're all liars.
They're all liars. They were removed from Canada and forced to speak French. And
we're gonna get some letters. If there's one thing I know about Quebec is they have a lot to say. We're gonna get some letters.
Okay, here's my thing. I recently hosted this like Age of Empires like combat event with someone from Canada, and I was telling her, I was like, oh, I love Canada. Like, I'm a big fan of Toronto. I love going to Calgary and Surrey, and they have these big Indian markets there. I was like, I went to Montreal for one school trip. Most racist city I've ever been in my life. Like,
really?
I was
I have
shocked.
Spent a lot of time in Montreal. And I like that.
Here's
city.
the crazy thing. Every Canadian I talk to, and I'm like, yeah, I wanted to love Montreal. It was beautiful, but like, I just had so many like racist encounters, and they're like, oh yeah, Quebec do be like that. Like, even Canadians say it, and I'm like,
it's definitely true. If you go to Montreal City, or not Montreal City, maybe it's Quebec City. There's like something city that's it's like an hour northeast of Montreal. That is like the real French Canadians, if that makes sense. The like country French Canadians and that shit. Quebec City. There you go. It's the capital of Quebec. That's where you got to stay clear.
K1 in chat. I'm from Montreal. Unfortunately, very true. I was shocked. I thought it was a joke. Someone called me a slur and I thought there was a joke. I was like, ah, ha, ha. And then I saw their face and I was like,
it's not a joke.
Oh, are you actually being racist? Yeah. Like, because you just don't usually have that happen in like big cities. Usually, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying, like people are not usually that bold. Like in America, it's generally understood if you act like that, you will get popped in the mouth, But like people were bold, and I was like, I will beat your old white ass. Like, I'm American.
Well, Bronze is banned in Canada. We can never go to Canada, guys.
Yeah,
look, we're not going to be able to tour up there if we ever do that.
Oh, sorry.
Just so sorry.
We'll have to go to Vancouver somewhere.
We'll go to the
God.
We'll go to the old
Listen, Vancouver and Toronto are better than Montreal. Whoa. Yo, Vancouverites, Torontonians.
Whoa.
Come through.
I'm going to have to get like one of those legal things where you just talk real fast and say a bunch of legal jargon for this show. So anytime Hotel Bronzegirl shows up, I just hit it real quick and me and Jesse are scot-free. We can just walk out of here.
I'm gonna hide out in Calgary for a while you guys start causing drama.
There you go. The other thing, which is gaming related, is that apparently there is a new Marvel MMO that's currently in early development.
By the DC Universe guys.
You say DC Universe, I say City of Heroes folk, because they are the real. That's the real superhero MMO.
I mean, you're
game.
right. You're right.
Yeah. Very early in development, which could be exciting. Could also be dog shit because it's probably going to be mobilified, and it'll probably be a mobile MMO rather than a full-blown MMO. But who knows? Who could say?
Probably a mobile MMO.
They have a mobile MMO right now already, I guess. With
okay. I don't mobile game, and I know that officially makes me an old person because I realize that mobile games is exactly the number one market for video games right now.
Yeah,
but I don't mobile game.
I mean, Marvel Future Revolution is straight up a MMO. Like you fly around and do quests and all that shit. So it's a mobile game, but maybe they wouldn't make another one of those. We'll see.
Okay, I'm going to have another spicy opinion. I just don't think the MMO format works for superhero stuff because
did you play
of
City
the way
of Heroes?
You level. Yeah, I didn't like it. You know which one I did like though? The Path of Exile style Marvel game. That was so good.
Yeah, that got canceled. They killed that.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know why. I felt like that format worked for superheroes. Like, because you kind of already have power, and basically what you're unlocking is like the loot, and the power set that they had was really fun, and I played the crap out of that. Marvel Heroes, yes, I love that game. I was like, oh, we should have more superhero games that follow that ARPG format because that to me makes more sense than an MMO format.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that.
It's weird playing Superman when there's like 3 other Supermans.
Sure, I mean I don't. If you played City of Heroes, I don't think you're gonna have like Supermans. You're gonna have like Superman's power. Like, oh, you can fly now.
Yeah,
that's why City of Heroes I think works so well. Is it was essentially every like small canonical, oh, you've got Wolverine claws, but you can also make bubbles and fireworks as well. So you can put bubbles around yourself and fly, and you can do fireworks for a little crowd control. And then you can get in there and brawl with Wolverine's claws that are made out of bone. So have fun. That was how that game worked. It was good. It actually has a pretty beloved fan base. Now that I think about it, a friend of the show, Octopimp, is like a massive City of Heroes fans. I think he still plays not official servers as of like the past couple of months. So
I think City of Heroes will always live rent-free in my head as the only game that we sold for PlayStation 3 that was 99 cents.
What? You mean like from the bargain bin?
No, like on the shelf. It was 99 cents. Like, well, like when in the like used games for PlayStation 3, people would ask me all the time, like, what are your cheapest games? And every single time when I sorted by price, it would be City of Heroes for 99 cents. I think at one point it spiked at $1.99.
Well, there was also, because it had a monthly sub, but there was also City of Villains. And so they would sell City of Heroes for cheap, and then you would get COV for a full price. And then eventually they started packaging that together. And it also had a monthly sub. So
I think that's why it was 99 cents.
So confusing. Yeah.
You buy the game, you still have to get the sponsored, or you have to get the subscription.
You had to get the monthly sub. Yeah, of like $10 or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see when that comes out. Probably in 2024 or something. When the X-Men's come out, that'll be the tie-in. You get an X-Men's MMO. You guys want to talk well, actually before that, hold on. I need a statue opinion. What do you guys think? What do you think here?
That's pretty great.
Is that a variant? Because it doesn't look like
it's it's President Loki. It's not the.
No, I'm just saying, like, look at that face. That doesn't look like him.
I put a mask on him somehow. I just put like something.
It doesn't look like him at all.
I just want look at this gator. This crocodile. He's just like, hey, how's it going? He's just hanging out.
The crocodile's great. The outfit and the whole thing is great. That face does not look like him.
That's Loki running for president. That's what he would look like.
Not him.
That's what he would look. He would be photoshopped and he'd look a little presidential and
This is not like that. Does not look like him.
Did they change the shape of his face, or is it the cheekbones, or is
jarring.
it the nose?
It's not him.
Let's see.
Which is insane because I have the Sideshow Collectibles Doctor Strange, and it looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. Like I have a little miniature.
I think they modeled it after this.
You're gonna show me the shot where he walks into the room. Here's the thing. That does not look like that. And more importantly, that's a photoshopped look that does not look like him. That's photoshopped. And that's terrible. The worst part is, go back to that Photoshop. They clearly enlarged his head to fit the mask. This is the worst thing you've ever done. This is the worst thing.
I just want to hit alt tab it. I just like
it's not like this face.
This is great.
It's too big. They like made the top of his head bigger to fit the helmet. It's not. This is not good. This sucks. Yeah, this sucks. That's not how he looks at all.
Oh yeah, terrible. His hairline is kind of peaking. He's got a 5 head in this.
Yes,
because if you look at that strip, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, his 5 head is like the size of my hand this way.
Yes, his head is too. They made his head too big.
Look, right here. That's the same.
No, but they made his head.
Yeah, but that's
the proportions are off. Oh no.
Yes, it's way off.
Oh god.
Yeah. Like there, his forehead's normal. On the figure, his forehead is like Brainulo. It's like a big ass forehead.
It's a lot. It's too much.
I can't stare at this anymore.
Like, yeah, if you just look at it, the face is the face is like down here, and the rest of it's up here. It's ridiculous looking.
We're not purchasing that statue. I've talked myself out of it. It's gone. All right, let's talk about Hawkeye. Episode 1 and 2. Bronze brought it to my attention. And I guess also I did see the people in the tweet comments that were already full on arguing about this show. Apparently this is like a divisive show. I didn't realize. And I guess I need to be walked through why in a lot of ways. However, I will say the fact that we got to see a amazing / awful Broadway show that Clint had to relive while also having massive amounts of PTSD from the entire situation, and then going to the restroom and seeing Thanos was right on the back of a urinal. I thought that was great. I thought that was like one of the best situations that I've seen in an MCU project. But let me know why I'm wrong, or at least what you guys have seen why I'm wrong. So I enjoyed the show. I think episode 2 is a little slow, but they got to set some stuff up. The LARPing also sold me. I think I'm easy to please because seeing Clint Barton LARP is 10 out of 10.
I made it easier to please because I knew going in what this is a Die Hard-esque action movie set during Christmas, and so I knew what to expect, and the fact that they delivered immediately where they were like, all right, so there's going to be a scene where she's sneaking around in the background. We're going to play a creepy version of Carol of the Bells. And I was like, they're doing it. They're doing all the things I need. Yeah, it's like a slow start, but we'll see. This again, I think falls in the category of, I don't understand what they were thinking when they were like, well, yeah. So the world almost ended, and there's a giant monster in the ocean, hanging out like this, and now we're gonna have like a two people caught up in some crazy shit in Christmas time in New York City.
That's it's
crazy to me.
I had to forget about that aspect because it's wild, right? Like, that's just wild as fuck that's where we're at in the MCU.
I think it would be like everything's canceled. They couldn't go to the musical because a literal man popped out of the earth. Like, there's no riots. People aren't like losing their minds. Like, this whole show would be like, Clint wanted to have a nice Christmas, but he can't.
I would love,
because the earth has gone crazy.
I would love for someone to ask really anyone that's high up, but I guess Kevin Feige, the question of, so how do you deal with the idea that a literal man came out of the planet, but Hawkeye is now watching an Avengers play? How do you have those stories exist and not overlap in such a way that just, it doesn't show Hawkeye just walking around saying, I'm fucking done. I'm done with this shit. I'm done. He's just snapping his bow in half, and he's going off into the country with his family, never to return again.
I will say, while I think the thing I enjoy the most is I enjoy the dynamic between the two characters. I think it's fun to have sort of like the old, like, I always love like the old grizzled guy and like the new fresh faced person. I love that dynamic. I always will. I will say, I very much do not give a shit about the family stuff. I could care less.
The kids I don't care about, but I really am a big fan of Linda Cardellini, the actress, his wife. And I love how...
No, not his family. His family's barely in it. I'm talking about like the other, like, I'm marrying this guy who's like that guy, like, is he evil? He's like, I don't give a shit about that. I was like, this plot sucks.
I think the twist with that is that it's actually going to be the mom that did the murder and not the stepdad or the soon to be stepdad. I think it was like, the mom.
Oh, this guy loves, like, the idea that his character setup is like, hello, I happen to love swords. They are my favorite. Yeah. I collect so many
I think he
swords.
just collects swords. That's his thing.
I just don't, like, okay, so, like, you're the sword guy. And they're like, let's take 5 minutes out of this episode to duel. I'm like, fucking shit. Okay, sure. Yeah, it's not perfect. But I would dare say none of the TV shows have been perfect so far. So it's fine. I'm like, all right, I can't wait to see what actually happens in this show. But it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. Oh, chat saying that there's an actual character called the Swordsman from the comics, and that's who he is.
I mean, that's fine.
Sure,
it's
he
not
could be
like...
a swordsman. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, all right. It's just that storyline, the idea of like, we're gonna really, really talk about her family and her backstory, and like give you like it's all right. I just don't particularly care about it. When what I want to see is like the two of them, like, oh, you got cool arrows? Yeah, I got pretty cool arrows. Oh, can I shoot this arrow? No, you can't. Okay, you shoot the arrow. Like, I want that, more of that, because I loved that.
Yeah. Hawkeye plays a very, or Jeremy Renner, I will say, plays a very good, he plays very good Die Hard, John McClane, right? Like, I'm too old for this shit.
It's literally Die Hard, but like, if John McClane went to,
he was a member of the Avengers.
Yeah, and he was already a hero, and like the person in the vents was the young protege. And he's like, I gotta help this. Yeah, it has a Lethal Weapon vibe. It's a trope that I love, and I have no problem acknowledging that this entire thing is tropey as hell, and it's super fun. But at the same time, there's a lot of that I'm like, we could have cut that.
Well,
we could have cut that.
Yeah, I also have, and I think this came through the dialogue that Hawkeye has as well. There's a lot of moments where I'm just like, this motherfucker was on a spaceship going to Vormir and like went and he was at one point the strongest entity in the entire known universe because he held the Infinity Gauntlet. And now he's like LARPing. And he even said as such, like, I fought Thanos. Like I went toe to toe for Thanos. And there's a lot of moments where that happens. And I'm like, this is kind of weird, but I don't know how else you don't do that. Right? Like you have to poke fun at yourself in some way. But
I'm waiting for the hot take, Bronze.
Yeah, I've been reading the face
up
when me and Jesse have been saying things. So
I've been like waiting. Here we go. It is garbage bullshit. I can't wait. I'm like really excited.
All right, so am I.
There were things about it I liked, but overall, I was like,
Yeah.
Like, okay, so.
Well, to be fair,
people are saying the acting is bad, but man, as someone who's acted before, sometimes you can't save like weird dialogue to like make it look natural. And okay, so right off the top of my head, when Kate Bishop is in the suit and he comes over and he says, oh, and she's like, oh, I'm not a waiter. And he's like, oh, you're the Kate girl. Yeah. Oh, well, you used to come to my brownstone to drink. I'm going to start talking shit about your mom. Yeah. You know, he says she's a catch. I don't think she's a catch. I think your mom's a fucking dirty slut whore. And I'm going to tell you this as her daughter for no conceivable reason, to just show you my hand that I don't like her. So then later when we have a scene together, I've already seeded that her and I don't get along. But it makes perfect sense for my character to approach yours at a party and start talking shit to you about your own mom. Because, you know, my nephew, I think he could do better than her. I don't think she's much of a prize. And I'm like, why are you here? Why are you talking to her? And then like just weird throwaway lines where you're like, why is this here? Where it's like, listen, you're a teenager and you're rich, so you think you're indestructible, but you're not. And then we watch for the next 2 hours, her money gets her out of every bad situation. And you're like, what was the point of
Well, I think that's the play of the show.
Like, you're just like, why was that line there for this rich lady going to a gala in a red dress to be like, you might think you're untouchable because you're rich and you're young, but trust me, you're not.
I will say,
Jesse, you can have this. I gotta step away. I gotta step away.
No. Like what's crazy about that, man? You're right that a lot of the writing was like really heavy-handed, and my only thought process was because of the scope of the show, and they keep saying he made a promise he'll be home in 5 days. So the scope of the show is no greater. Like the end of the show is him getting home for Christmas. We all know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's going to walk in the door like that. So he only has so many days. So the scope of the show is, let's say there are 4 days left, which means as the writers, they now have to get every ounce of background detail out so they can spend the rest of the episodes on those 4 days in the action and the adventure. And so what we're seeing right now is like really clunky versions of like, get the information out there so we can all figure it out.
Saying. Is it's clunky? Like, I don't know. Maybe some people are stupid enough that they need to have it spelled out. When she tried to cheap shot him and he parried her, I understood precisely what happened there. But the show is filled with them then explaining it like, no, Mom, I struck at him because I knew he could parry because I knew that he was faking his skill. And I'm like, yeah, we know that. We obviously know she's playing dumb because she's a villain. And she's like, oh, honey, you're just trying to kill this guy. But they explain everything to the point that you're like, even in children's films like Guardians of the Galaxy, they don't go to the effort of explaining precisely what happened on screen. Even like when you see him watching the play, his daughter comes out and explains, well, I mean, for us, we were just fans of Black Widow, but I understand that she was your best friend. And it's like, yeah, we established that from the last 3 shots where they focus in on Black Widow. We see Clint having a hard time with that. Like, I think we know that. Like, yeah, we know we got it.
But that's okay. The idea of of the like the way they're telling this, right? Like going back to what I was saying, it's you're absolutely right that it's just clunky writing, but it's them having to set up Kate as a character and do it in a way that is like, let's give all the story beats. Here's all the things about Kate so we can move on. And so she has sort of a backstory. Plus, it's a catch up for people that, you know, don't remember. Plus, it's like all the I get it. I totally am on board with you. It's not anywhere near a perfect show. I think the idea is that figuring out what it is, going in, I did not expect the Hawkeye show to be like a winner. You know what I mean? Like, it's the Hawkeye show. So I didn't expect it to be like phenomenal.
I guess that's where the disconnect is happening, because everyone's like, oh, well, that's how I'm going to get my mom to watch it. And like, oh, that's like, you know, that's how kids understand. Like, they didn't, but we're coming off of two properties where they just didn't give a fuck about that. Like, Loki did not sit here and hold your hand and explain to you exactly what was happening. And then same thing with like WandaVision, and even to a certain extent, Captain America and Winter Soldier. Like, these shows did not sit there and explain to you right now, you know, Sam is sad because he is contemplating on losing his best friend. And then Bucky comes in and says, hey, Sam, I know you're sad because you lost your best friend. He was my best friend too. So we haven't had this type of very clunky dialogue in any the other shows have done such a better job of very smoothly introducing this information versus the expo dumps. Like even the funeral scene, that was so weird to me, where this girl's father died and she's literally just like, I have to protect you. No, honey, it's my job to protect you. I need a bow and arrow. And I was like,
that's, well, again, this is like,
there had to be a better way to do that.
Well, and I agreed. The assumption there is that because she saw Hawkeye, the way she sees,
but why not say something like, I wish it had been something like, I'm never going to let this happen to anybody else in my life again. Instead of, I need to protect you. And then her saying, no, it's my job to protect you. And her saying, I need a bow and arrow. Maybe I'm just expecting poetry here. I don't know. Maybe I'm expecting too much.
I think because, but here's the thing. I will say that I think if you went back and watched the other shows, they do a lot of explaining things verbally and really like dumping information on you. And I think if you went back and watched some of our previous episodes, we even mention it and then say it because it's done so well that we are like, we've chosen to ignore it. And I think in this case, it's not done well. So it's they're doing the exact same thing, except we're noticing the more clunkier aspects of it compared to other versions of them doing the exact same thing, where they like, in Loki, some characters existed literally just to explain shit. But they did it in a way that was fascinating and interesting versus a way that's like, this is why I want to do this thing. And this is why I am this way. And yeah, I don't know. It's maybe because this is more down to earth, we don't feel the need as viewers to have stuff explained, because we're not scratching our heads like, well, what do all those Infinity Stones mean? Right? Like we aren't thinking about that. We get it. It's New York. It's Christmas. They're like Russian gang members. And then that's pretty much like that kind of, it's very simple. So when they over explain things, we're like, well, we don't need to know that. Like we get that. I don't know. I have no clue.
I don't know. I think it's just because there's so little that happened in 2 episodes. Like, you can recap it in about 8 minutes, that those exposition dumps really stand out as like being like, you're just kind of waiting for the show to go somewhere. Maybe that was me. Like, because I was like, okay, so she's a daddy's girl. She's really attached to her dad. Like, but then the way that comes off, even in like, for me, because I'm a fan of Kate Bishop from the comics, they just haven't done a very good job. Maybe I'm alone in this, in making her likable.
That's
and
really,
especially,
I think she's great. I think
she's great.
I
love
know.
Haley Steinfeld. This is Kate.
I'm not saying this about Haley Steinfeld, though, to be clear. I'm saying it about the way the character's written. Yeah. Because, like, for me, I would have expected her to, like, be mad at this new stepfather guy because she feels like her father's being replaced. But it seems more like she just doesn't like him. And then, I don't know. For me, there was just a disconnect somewhere in most of the dialogue where I just didn't understand, like, that dynamic, that family dynamic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think the family dynamic
I just didn't get the show.
It is well, I don't think it's bad. It is the lesser part of the show, right? Like, I want to see
but it's like a
Hawkeye
huge part of it.
Totally, yeah. But for me, I'm there to see Hawkeye and Kate Bishop interact. I don't give a rat's ass about the family relationship at the moment. Which is why
you agree that it's not great.
I said it's the lesser part of the show. Not great's too strong.
Yeah, I think, I stand by what I said. The family bits where it's Kate dealing with her mom, and then the guy her mom wants to marry, who she thinks is trying to dupe her mom, and might have killed this guy. Like, I think, like, that's the weakest part of the show. It's the part I care about the least, and I think it has the everything you were talking about. Most of the lines of dialogue you were talking about deal with that aspect of the show.
Right.
Where I think that part of it is pretty weak. Everything else, I like the tracksuit guys. I thought were great.
They were dumb fun.
Yeah, like Jeremy Renner and his family, and like the idea, the setup of like, dude's got to get home for Christmas. I think that's a solid, simple setup. The ideas of her sneaking around and like being the waitress, and I love all that stuff. There's a lot to love, but that the bit about the family does not, like, I don't know. There's something about it that just does not, it's not fun to me. And I don't know why. Like, if I didn't have to watch all of it, if I was going to rewatch this, I definitely just fast forward through those bits.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care.
Well, there's definitely, like, the soon to be stepdad or whatever has this, like, I think there's a line, right? There's a line where he could become too comic book character-y and not necessarily interesting. And he oversteps it a little bit by, like, his level of schmarminess in almost every scene that he's in. And that definitely that's where I lose interest pretty quick in, like, his scenes. Especially if it goes with the idea of, like, that it's a red herring where he's actually not the bad guy and it's her mom. Because then those whole scenes just seem odd to me. So they have to be in they have to be in cahoots with one another, right? Like, it's an arranged situation.
Case, if they do an MCU twist, and then the swordsman or whoever this character is that Chat was talking about turns out to be the mom,
yeah,
that would be, you know what? I'd be like, all right, then all of the setup that we're getting about the family had a payoff.
Oh,
right,
I would say it. Yeah,
because they're trying to red herring the dude. Like, it seems that they're really trying to pin everything on this guy, who, in my mind, just watching their family interactions, aside from the dude who got stabbed and the fact that, like, rich people, I'm gonna say it, kind of dicks. It's weird. Who knew? Yeah, I don't know. It's like, when things happen, you're reminded of how ludicrous it all is sometimes. Like, her apartment burnt down. A cop calls and she's like, I'll
see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can I talk to you tomorrow? And he's like, sure. And then he hangs up and he's like, I was like, dude, drive your ass to the office and be like, you have your apartment burned down.
That's what I'm saying is, like, there's parts of it that to me just they feel disconnected. There's parts I really liked. I think it's really cool that Hawkeye or Clint, I should say, is hard of hearing, and that, like, we have a character that is disabled in a way, I think that's actually really fucking cool that we're saying, like, the real effect of just a normal person, like, being in this line of work. And I love that flashback, like, when she was like, how'd you lose your hearing?
That explanation was cool.
Through, like, 8 different memories, like, because it's like they didn't sit there and hold your hand and explain to you, well, I hear a lot of explosions in my line of work, kid, and we all know explosions are not great on the old eardrum. Like, I like that they kind of, that nonverbal style of storytelling, or he's like, it's hard to say. I thought that was really cute. I think it's really cute that his kid signed to him. But I guess like I think in general, the parts of this show that y'all enjoyed like just didn't click for me because I didn't like the LARP section. I liked the way once again Loki did it because it felt like when that lady was like, "Listen, dude, some of us this is like what we had." It felt more respectful for people that go to Ren fairs. That like frequenting Ren fair. I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of what Ren fair is like. It didn't feel to me like they were like, look at these stupid fucking nerds and this stupid fucking thing they do. What a bunch of fucking losers. But the LARP thing, the entire thing for me was just cringe. And I don't even LARP, but I still was like, this was cringe to me.
I don't think it was, I didn't get that at all. I felt like they portrayed it as Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye. I gotta stop saying Jeremy Renner because it's more, that's the actor. I felt like Hawkeye would be exactly how he would be in a LARPing situation, but the way that they presented it was like true to the idea of LARPing. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never gone in LARP, so maybe that was not how LARPing is whatsoever.
It was, I think the whole thing was supposed to be, I think you're right, JP. It was supposed to be through his eyes and how he sees.
Yeah.
The LARPing.
He even says, I fought Thanos. Now he's like sword fighting with a random guy in the middle of New York. Yeah.
The one thing that I think was interesting that I didn't like about it, I thought the LARP was fine. The part that took me out of it, that when they were like, yeah, everyone LARPing here today, they're all cops and firefighters. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
that's the line that got me.
She literally says, like, it's going to get ugly real quick. She literally uses the words, it's going to get ugly real quick. And I was like, okay. And then, like, the entire scene with that dude where he's like, you get to be a hero every day. This is the only time I get to be a hero. It was just, I don't know. To me, I was like,
I like that
it's line. A hobby.
I thought that line was great.
I am conflicted on that line.
It's a
because
fucking hobby.
Either that is I can't tell if that is a brilliant line or an insane line because the dude is a firefighter. So, in my mind, that firefighter is a hero. And him saying that is insane.
Yeah, but he wouldn't think himself as one. I think that's
right.
Just
and I'm like, maybe that's brilliant because he was what we would consider a hero. Yeah. But he is like, he doesn't see himself as a hero anymore because of superheroes. I don't know. All I know is that line. I was like, wait, what? The whole thing was crazy to me, but I enjoyed it. I think that's most of my takeaway from the series is like, it's crazy, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Like it was funny, but I don't know. I think like for a lot of us, and I hear this all the time, like with people who are furries, there's a certain connotation that goes with that. Like, oh, you play D&D, you think you're a fucking wizard, you play Magic. Like people really think it's like
Bronze,
this.
Do you think you're a wizard?
Yeah, Bronze, you're not a.
Well, I'm just saying, like they act like it's like this like really important thing to you when for most of us it's like it's just a hobby, man. Like it's something I do on the weekend for fun to be social. The way people rock climb, like, is it important to people? Sure. Do they put a lot of time and effort and money into it?
But
sure.
Think of the inverse of that. If they treated it as a joke, then the entire internet would be like, oh my God, Marvel thinks LARPing is for idiots and they have no reverence for this whole thing. They would much rather deal with people saying that, that it's just a hobby than like saying that they didn't treat it with reverence or they treated it way too highly.
I highly disagree. I think most of us are willing, we are willing to laugh at that. I have to point to what we do in the shadows where I was like, yeah, that's a friggin' LARP group. That's hilarious. Where you have people that are just there having fun and somebody that takes it way too seriously and uses it as an avenue to like abuse and put down and bully other people. And that's the person the vampires eat. I thought that shit was hilarious. I like that it's like they make jokes like that, but I don't know. I think like something for me about the show, there's parts of it I like, but it's too diluted with other stuff where I'm like, this is 2 hours. Like, I feel like this could have been 20 minutes. And I think maybe if it was all out and I could binge watch it, or maybe if it was a movie, I would have liked it a lot more. But I'm not going to like every single show the MCU puts out, and I'm not always going to agree with everyone else. And there's a lot of people that I've talked to that agree with me that are like, yeah, this one's, a little bit. So I think for me, the parts that were super rewarding for other people. I was like, I loved Echo at the end. I'm very excited for Echo. That's a very fucking cool character.
That was the one thud where I was just like, that was a weird intro. She just turned and it went fade to black. I guess we'll see how the next episode goes. It's the stupidest
fucking intro.
Yeah.
Because unless you know who she is, it just came off as fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Unless you actually know who she is, you're just like, okay, so she stares at him and turns back around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we'll see.
But like, if you know that that's Echo, if you know that that's like basically Kingpin's daughter, because the background for that character is Kingpin killed her dad. And in his dying words he said, hey, like, don't let my kid grow up without a dad or whatever. So she's basically Kingpin's kid, essentially.
Right.
And she's a very, very fucking cool character. I believe she's Native American. She's like actually awesome. And it still plays on that whole, like, usually she's a foil, well, sometimes love interest of Daredevil. But because they're kind of talking about the hard of hearing thing for Clint, I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand, and it's becoming like this really interesting character for him to play off of as well. And so it's just like if you don't know who that character is, you're just like, why is she feeling the speaker? Like, so for those of you that are so smart and are like, well, they have to explain it, Brown, so my mom understands. Does your mom know who Echo is? Probably not. The things that they like, I just feel like there could have been that could have made more sense in that moment. And it, like, I knew who she was, so I was excited.
Yeah, I mean, I knew who she was.
Don't know who she is.
It still was a weird character introduction to like end on that.
She's just feeling up a speaker.
Yeah, and the bass was incredibly loud, and then it ends. Yeah, it was little.
And she turns around and then turns back around, and you're like,
well, and the other thing too is it's not while it could be maybe more obvious than I think. It's not like she had any sort of non-human characteristics to her. Like, she didn't have a fucking dolphin fin sticking out of her back. She's just a normal human, right? And so you can't really glean that well that, like, oh, okay, she's hard of hearing or deaf or has some sort of superpowers around that. You just think she's like a normal person. And why is this woman leading the Russian tracksuit gang? Yeah.
Exactly. For the folks that are like, it's a cliffhanger. For that to be a thing, there needs to be a cliff, numbnuts. There was no cliff. It was an anthill.
Bronze, we got to go back to you closing chat. This is a conversation with me and Jesse, not with you in chat.
It was a bump. There's no cliffhanger. You have to, like, listen, as a DM, you have to have a stronger hook than that. You know, you have to have something where it's like,
it was a week.
What is this? What's happening? Who is she? What's gonna happen? What are we doing? What are we doing? What is this? What is this a thing? And for her, it was just like her feeling up a speaker. You couldn't come up with a cooler thing for Echo. Also, in the comics, she has like this handprint on her face, and it's like the bloody handprint her dad left on her face. Why did they take away the handprint? That would have been cool. I would have been like, yo.
That would have maybe looked a little goofy.
Handprint.
Maybe she's got a mask. I don't know.
They take really goofy designs and make them look really cool in these shows. They take like really things that are cliche and stupid and then somehow make them look cool in design.
Yeah.
So I have faith they could do it.
She might have a mask or something.
Well, then she should have ended the episode by putting her mask on, and we would have been like, oh, she looks spooky, instead of, oh, I went to go look she this really up likes because the song.
I went to go look this up because I don't know enough about Echo, but I want you to know that the handprint literally looks like an Hawkeye. Like, just like, it really? Is straight up like the mark of Saruman. Like, it doesn't, in the comics, it looks cool because it, like, is art and looks neat. In person, that would be insane. It's like right here. It isn't even like here or like here. It's like here. That would be crazy. There's no way. That would be insane.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing it now.
Like, it looks neat in
her comic book design is really cool looking.
Yeah, she looks great. But with that said, you know, There's no way that would fly in like real life. People be like, you take showers? What is happening? Why is that still on your face?
No. It's not the actual handprint because that was like in blood. It's one that I'm pretty sure she applies herself to like honor that. Because that's why it's white.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I get it. It's super cool.
I think the OG is like in blood, and then I think she like puts it. I think it's like her homage to her dad. I'm pretty sure. So she like puts it on every time, and that's why it's white instead of red.
It's like neat, but again, it's very like the world of men shall fall.
Maybe that's why I like it.
Maybe
that's why I like it because I'm like, okay, she serves Saruman.
Yeah,
we talk about how the orcs walked like this.
They were getting shit done. Like, what are you talking about?
And this walk to them, and I just love the fact this is how they walked. All I'm saying is, if they want to bring orcs into the MCU, and she's like, "We died on man flesh," I'll be like, "Yeah."
Well,
okay, hold up. Excuse me. I have to bring an end to this, JP, for just a moment here. You are now mixing up your orcs. You have the orcs, and then you have the Uruk-hai. The Uruk-hai bear the white hand of Saruman and serve him.
Right.
You are mixing up which ones you're portraying. Exactly. And you're saying... Right. So that man flesh thing was said by an Uruk-hai.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no,
yes.
you're right.
So there's two different. Okay, because you're
right, but they all serve the Dark Lord though.
Well, some of them serve Saruman, and there is kind of a bit of a sort of civil war happening between the Red Eye orcs and Saruman's Uruk-hai because some people feel that in creating a better version of the orc, Saruman is undermining the power of Sauron.
Well, when Morgoth returns,
in the books, they fight each other all the time.
I don't trust either of them. Saruman and Sauron too close. Only Morgoth. Let his great darkness wash over the lands of Middle Earth.
Okay. Fair enough. By the way, let's use this as a jumping point here. I was about to call you.
So what?
Jericho.
You just serve Morgoth now?
Yeah.
Only Morgoth.
See?
Only
Morgoth exists.
Only Morgoth. Actually, does Morgoth exist? I think he doesn't anymore. It doesn't matter.
Probably not.
Dude, the world is made of song, bro. Song.
But even if he's alive, why would you serve him? He is a bad guy.
Yes.
now
right.
He's the baddest guy.
He's the baddest.
He's a bad guy. He's gonna eat you. He's gonna fucking kill you. He doesn't love you.
It's worth it. I don't need love. I want a big ass dragon I can ride on the back of.
Whoa.
Oh my god, yeah.
You just want the dragon.
But dragons are a whole other different thing. What makes you think they're okay, hold on.
I want to be on the back of a Morgoth. I want to freaking
this is what that firefighter dreams about all day. So he got to fight Hawkeye, and that's why it was a big deal. It makes sense. It makes sense. Random tangent, by the way. Are either of you watching The Wheel of Time?
Yes.
No.
Did you get to episode 4 yet, Bronze?
Yes.
Okay. Where were you on the show up until episode 4? I was lukewarm. Episode 4 hit. Now I'm ride or die for that show.
Same. Yes,
okay,
that's
good.
a really fucking good show with a really slow start.
Yeah, man, it took 4 fucking episodes.
Yeah,
but
it took a while. It has a slow start, but I really like it now.
Yeah,
and I really, I'm here for it. I think it's worth the investment, and I like it. It is very different than at least the first book and a half. I haven't gotten that far in that series. It's too long.
Right.
That I've read, but I kind of like some of the changes they've made, and I think especially if you don't compare it, it's a pretty
I've never read the
Foundation.
Books. I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it a lot. I think it was okay, so I had that issue with Witcher where I did not like Witcher until I finished the whole thing. because it cut too many times in the beginning where it's like, oh, this is getting interesting, and cut, and I'd be like, okay.
Episode end.
I'd be like, oh, this is getting interesting, and then cut, and I'd be like, man, y'all are switching between these characters too much, and you're switching to the boring part every time. So I would get like annoyed when it would switch to like the Yennefer stuff because I was like, but this other shit was just getting interesting. Or not Yennefer, the princess.
Siri?
Every time they would cut to her shit, Siri, I would be like, I know this character is going to get interesting because I've read these books and I've played the games, but also this pacing is very hard for me because it's like every time I'm like, oh, it's like cut, and I'm like, and then when you cut back, you're like, I don't even remember where we were. Why are we back here again?
Yeah.
But I ended up really liking Witcher further in. And I feel like Wheel of Time was like that for me, where I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
I thought the first 2 episodes were okay. Episode 3 was okay. 4 was like, okay, I'm in. I'm on board. That's where I was at with that.
4 was fucking dope.
Yeah.
But the first 2 were definitely, I was like,
I would pay good money to have you react to Star Trek Discovery, Bronze, because holy shit! Like I'm not. Like,
I just watched my first Star Trek. I watched. Okay, so I felt like such an imposter. I got invited to a special anniversary screening of Star Trek: First Contact, and like LeVar Burton, the director of that film. All these people were there. I don't even know who they are.
First Contact
I've never watched.
It's one of the greatest Star Trek movies.
I should have invited you. I felt like an imposter. Because this was my first ever Star Trek thing I've watched, and there's all these people there. And my friend who invited me was like showing me all of them, like, oh, that's so and so, that's so and so. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Watch that film as someone who's never seen Star Trek. First of all, that film is a masterclass in how to explain things very quickly. So that just brings me back to the same things I did not like about Hawkeye, because I am a toddler when it comes to Star Trek. I knew nothing about it, and I understood everything very quickly. Where I was like, okay. It looks like this race is like some kind of techno Zerg race that takes people over. Okay, I see that. It looks like this Picard fellow survived them once, and now he has some trauma associated with that. It looks like he has some skin in the game, in fact. And then this dude with the forehead wrinkles, he seems like he's a badass. He's got a chainmail sash. Okay, turns out he is a badass. This motherfucker's out here with a fucking knife, slicing people's legs and shit off. I like this guy. I can get on board with him. You know, I was like, I like this guy. And then, okay, here are these filthy humans. They've gone in the past. These people are like fighting each other with sticks and stones. How the hell do they get to where we are now? And it's like, oh, because they met aliens. And now there's somebody going back in time to make sure we never meet the aliens. So then they'll always be fighting each other with sticks and stones like dirty, filthy savages instead of wandering space.
I just like the part where they lift off and listen to music.
Okay. Yeah. And then like seeing the two of them, the LeVar Burton, Reading Rainbow fellow, Mr. LeVar Burton, national treasure, him in the cockpit with the other guy, and then being like, oh, they're fanboys, and now they get to go with their hero on this thing.
You did not call William Riker the other guy. No!
William Riker was actually at the screening. He was actually at the screening. I just forgot. I forgot his name. He was at the screening. He was very nice.
Commander William Riker! He didn't grow that beard for no goddamn reason! That's William Riker!
In my defense, I didn't know LeVar Burton's character's name either! And then they go off in space, and then that was so cool. And then that amazing girl that's like, listen here, you need to get your shit together. And then that Kerrigan bitch comes down and she's like, join us. And then she has sex with that cyborg man.
Yes,
no, that movie was really good.
Data got some.
Really
cyborg man!
It's Data. It's Data. Come on, bro.
Data! He gave his fucking life!
Wait, he's dead?
I mean, technically, they're all dead.
They're all dead, yeah.
Oh.
Star Trek timeline has moved on so much that they're all dead.
And then she like grafts that skin onto him, and he's like, is this what it's like to be human? Like, I was there for it. I was like, okay.
It is.
All right.
It is the perfect Star Trek movie. It has everything you could want.
No, it was great. I loved it.
it has another character that is like, I'm the person out of time and I don't understand any of this, so I'm the audience of new people who's going to watch.
Yes! It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yes, that's how you do it. That's literally how you do it. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything Star Trek.
Yeah.
And it was so brilliantly done that I understood every part of it. And then when the Vulcans showed up, I knew who they were because I get told I look like a Vulcan all the time because he's friggin' eyebrows.
You look like a Vulcan. You are very Vulcan.
You know, I've never seen that, but now that you said
that's
that,
like my dream.
You're a Vulcan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's my dream to be cast as a Vulcan. And there were people eyeing me at that screening. I was like, do it. I will play that role. Because at the end, they come through and they're like,
that you could be a Vulcan.
What is this?
What
is this rock and roll and whiskey?
I want to change my thought process
here. Shows how cool humans are despite our primitiveness. How we still have culture worth valuing, and how our rough edges are what make us so endearing to the space people. Because they come through like elves, like
a Vulcan.
Bronze is not a Vulcan.
100%
She a Romulan?
She doesn't have.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't have the logic. She's all emotion. Yeah,
True.
You're a Romulan.
Romulan.
100% Romulan.
True. Mm-hmm. You get cloaked ships, so that's cool, Bronze.
The ones with the ugly forehead ridges.
No.
What?
Those are Klingons!
No, the ones with the 2 ridges.
Confuse Cardassians with.
No, I looked up Romulan. They have the 2 ridges right here. The Klingons have like the folds, the Baby Yoda folds, and then the other ones have like the 2 ridges. Look it up, Jesse. It's right there on the Google Images. They have the big bone plate instead of the Baby Yoda folds.
It depends on which show you're looking at for Romulan.
Yeah.
They just changed the way they changed the way they look from show to show.
Yeah. I mean, here's a good depiction of that right here. You know, if we're really getting into it, these are all Romulan.
Yeah, these are all the different Romulans.
Because one of those I'm okay with, and the rest of those I'm horrifically offended by. 2 of those I'm okay with, actually.
Well, that's because all of them are you, except for the guy with no hair.
Fuck you.
You are 100%. You are 100% a Romulan. 100% a Romulan.
Would I at least be like one of the main Romulans, or just one that dies?
Yeah, no,
you'd
be like sub-commander.
I don't know much about them. I don't know much about them because they're only referenced in the movie I watched, where it says like, we have to watch for Romulan activity, and he's like, but the Romulans, there's been no changes in their behavior, and even that I understood was like, okay, so they've been at war with the Romulans for a minute. But right now, it seems like there's a bit of a ceasefire. Once again, that's called good writing. Okay? And if you're 8-year-old and your mom can't understand that, I'm just going to leave that there.
But like you are,
I was like, okay, that very quickly established. I understand everything about this now. You know? I got it.
Yeah, you're like one of the villains that shows up and is like, if it isn't Captain Picard, I've been waiting to meet you. And then he's like, yes, Sub-Commander to Bronze.
And then we have sex.
No.
Picard wouldn't fuck a Romulan.
Picard doesn't fuck. Now, the other guy in the cockpit, Commander William Riker, would fuck.
Capital F. You would, capital F fuck, yeah. It's true.
That's my hero right there. That's goddamn right. That's got Jonathan Frakes. That's goddamn right.
Doing good, Riker.
I'm not saying I own a shirt that has William Riker's face on it that says, what happens in the holodeck stays in the holodeck, but I do, and I proudly wear that shirt.
As you should.
Commander William Riker is a hero!
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I know about the holodeck too, because Picard goes there, and then he gets the Tommy gun, but then he takes off all the safety protocols, and then he shoots that dude. And in that moment, you see that Picard is not afraid to ice even his former crewmates. This man will not hesitate. He will not hesitate because it informs his character.
That's what makes that movie so special, is because his trauma from the Borg.
Yes.
He does things that are not who he is. And so even at one point, he tells Commander Worf that he's a coward. And Worf is like, I would kill you if you were any other man.
If you were anybody else. Which establishes that his former demeanor up until now has been one that is respectful and logical to his crew. Yes.
It's a very good movie. And then the dude straight up just like, Picard's like, I wanted to apologize for some of the things I said. And Worf is like, some of the things. And I was like, these boys is friends again.
Yes.
It is a great film.
Also,
they're homies.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I remember watching a documentary on a sponsored stream I did for this. Didn't Riker also direct that movie?
Yes.
Yes. He was there.
William Frakes was the director. Or Jonathan Frakes.
William Frakes. I said, is it Jonathan?
Jonathan
Frakes. Jonathan. I don't know why I said William. Yeah.
He was
William.
He was at the screening, and I had a moment where I asked my friend. I said, "Oh, he's in the movie," and my friend had a very Jesse Cox-esque experience where he's like, "That's Riker. That's the director of the film," and I was like, "Oh, I just thought he was the director. No, he was in the movie."
It's true.
This is why Hollywood's bullshit. No one called me to come to this event.
Whoa.
I would have been.
I didn't get in because I was famous. I just know famous people. My friends are more important than me.
That's Hollywood.
And they get me in places.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Hollywood bullshit.
Yeah.
We're going to call that wrestling promo Jesse from now on. That's wrestling promo Jesse. He might pop up from time to time.
I just really wanted to channel all the nerd rage on the internet that I knew was going to happen.
I never said I was an expert.
Barb Burton and the other guy, and I'm just like,
I never said. Listen, I came out of that movie being a fan of Worf and being a fan of Picard. Everyone else did great, but I have an archetype, and it's like ugly fighting guys, like Rex from Mass Effect.
Sure.
Like, if they are some hideous space race, it's like, I'm like, yes, I like that guy. This guy's cool.
You don't need to explain that.
Yeah, literally being
I don't
want to
say
like,
the actor's ugly. I'm saying like
the character's a warrior. Yeah.
No, literally, you said up front, I don't know Star Trek. I've never seen Star Trek. Like, you're fine. I'm just giving you shit because it's really fun to do.
Yeah.
True. Because I really enjoy that part of this job.
True.
I also love the engineering nerds. The Georgie sitting there being like, "This is your line, and here's your."
One more time. What's the engineering guy's name?
I'm afraid to say it.
You were close. You were close.
I'm afraid to say it. I was close.
All right.
You had us in the first half.
JP, I'm going to need you to do me a thing. We can't leave this episode until you bring up the main characters' photos on the screen and we have Bronze tell us what their names are. This is a bit now, and we must continue.
Wait, hold on. Of First Contact or of Star Trek?
Of just First Contact. The main characters of First Contact.
Let me pull up.
You saw the movie. Clearly, you must know something about them.
Let me pull up.
God, this is a bit now. This is a bit that must happen.
Okay, here we go.
Has zero knowledge of Star Trek, and I want to know what you think these people are called.
Are we pulling up?
God, no.
Are we pulling up just an actor's
photo,
name?
That's fine. No, not the names. Just like an image of the character
from the movie. Okay. All right, we'll start with an easy one. We'll start.
Give us the easiest one. Uh-oh.
I'm so nervous now.
Oh, here we go. Okay, we got it. It's tough to find screen caps from that movie because there's also an episode called First Contact.
I don't think I remember what any of the humans are named.
Who is this?
All right, who is this guy?
Riker.
Good job.
Nice.
Good job.
You learn the real true power behind this series. All right, good job. All right.
Okay.
Hold on. This one's hard to find because of reasons. Let's go with
because of
this
reasons.
one. Yeah. I'll explain after. Who is this man?
Data.
Good work.
Good work. Well done. This was the first photo somebody used it. Also, when you search data image, that's why it's difficult because you have
right.
Yeah. Bonus points if you can name the person on the left.
Well, that's Picard, and then that's Gandalf.
Okay. Correct.
You're right. You're totally right.
Picard and Gandalf making
that
out.
right
Correct,
there is my favorite fanfic. Is the time Picard made out with Gandalf.
Yeah, or Magneto.
It's good.
Professor X and Magneto make out.
Yeah, or Professor X and Magneto kissing. Either way, it's good fanfic.
Okay, hold on. I got a couple more here. I didn't realize that.
Aren't they both knighted too? Isn't it like Sir Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart?
Yes.
Did I ever tell you
Knights making out should be a form of fanfic?
Oh, you know this guy.
Worf.
There you go.
Worf.
Easy.
Hell yeah. Easy. Michael Dorn. Hero. Love that man. I saw while he looks up this other photo, I saw Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen in a play years ago.
Really?
And it was like watching two of the greatest actors I've ever seen in the most boring play I've ever watched. It was the entire cast was famous actors. And you could definitely tell this was a passion piece of theirs, but it was one of those plays that was like, and so comes a time in our life where we must wait. But waiting is what it was. It wasn't Waiting for Godot, but it was like on that level of like, oh boy. But it was fascinating to watch because it was like you're watching these prolific actors just like really go at it. And you were like, oh my God. By the end, I was like, if that was anyone else, I would have been like, this sucks. I would have been like, ugh. And I wonder if they did it just to see if they could do it.
Triple.
All right. Who are these people?
Who are these people? From left to right, Bronze.
The middle one's tough.
Riker?
You don't need to know the middle one. Riker. Yeah.
Far left. Yeah, bonus points for middle one. That's not necessarily that's extra credit.
For the middle. Who's the other
guy?
Connor?
Wait, Connor's the middle?
Yeah.
Connor?
The guy from Babe.
You know what? Cochran is very close to Connor.
It's close.
Yeah, Cochran.
Very close.
Okay, Connor.
You got the first part. And then who
JP
is this
said what I
character?
said was close. JP said what I said was close. So I'm going to say, and you said I had the first half right. So George?
Yep. George.
And?
Georgie.
No.
Is that not right?
It's not correct. Not correct.
What is his last name? What is George's last name?
First name George. His last name is what?
Do they say it in the show?
Yes, because
it's
his name.
Yeah. Yes, all the time. George.
You're close. It rhymes. It rhymes with George if you really want to.
It really does. I just realized how awful that is.
Wait, it rhymes?
It does rhyme.
George.
You spent a lot of time in Montreal, you know?
Yeah, where do you imagine?
In Montreal?
That might be a bad hint. Don't listen to that hint.
Where do you imagine you're like a French blacksmith? Where do you most of your work?
Yeah. That's very good. That's a very good hint.
Thank you. Yeah, you're a French blacksmith. Where do you do most of your work at?
Okay, but it has to rhyme with George. So it can't be like Le Smith. It would have to be, Le Forge? George
LaForge. Jordy LaForge.
Jordy LaForge.
Jordy.
Ah, I was so close with Georgie.
I know.
That was so close.
Georgie was very good.
Yeah.
Georgie is like what my mom would call him. It was very good.
I would not have remembered LaForge. I would not have remembered LaForge. That was not going to happen.
This is for all of this is forgiven. If you can name who this character is.
Oh God.
No way is she ever. This isn't even the same series.
I know. He's in there. What are you talking about? Very briefly.
Oh, he is.
He's the
The
doctor.
nature of the medical emergency.
He's the doctor, and then they say, "Oh, distract the Borg," and he's like, "I'm not equipped for that."
Yeah,
he's a holographic doctor.
Is he just computer?
I mean,
like because I feel like she says,
I mean, they
computer.
do say computer that he,
Yeah, he's computer.
All out.
Because she says computer.
All out. It's kind of a deep cut.
Tough. Yeah, because this is like
the actual IMDb presence is holographic doctor. So you're close. Don't know.
Okay. I kind of swear she says computer, distract the Borg, and then they break down the door and he
says, tell me the
actor
name, Jesse. We'll do it that way.
The actor, I do not know the EMH actor's name. I simply don't. But you should show John Delancey, and I want Bronze to guess this character's name.
Okay, and then we're gonna wrap.
Yeah, Bronze, you're not gonna know who this character is, but I still want you to guess who you think this character's name is. I don't know.
Now, Jesse, do you want to like? That's what I'm about to ask. Do you want a in-show image? Do you want just the actor?
An in-show image. An in-show, maybe one of the sassier pics where he's like leaning on a bulkhead or something, where he's like, like a John Delancey, where he's
Let's go with this one right here. All of these are real and true.
Who do you think this person is? If you had to guess their name, who is this?
Okay, I need some hints. So, what is their race? Are they human?
No, you're not human.
No, not human.
They're not human.
He's not human. In fact, he
might be a god.
Yeah, he thinks humans are like really kind of dumb, but he's obsessed with them. And that's why he becomes a human often.
Does he also have a French name? Or is it like spacey?
Oh no. No, it's pretty French.
Pretty French.
I think it's definitely very important to Quebec, I would say.
Yeah. Very important to Quebec. And also, Republicans follow every word he says these days.
It's true.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he has a huge internet fandom. Massive.
Yeah, massive fandom.
Your crazy uncle loves him.
He predicted that John F. Kennedy is going to return any day now.
It's true.
It's true.
Is this the frogs are gay guy?
So what do you think this character's name is?
What do you think this? Yeah. He also moonlights in a popular series about a spy. Every once in a while, he'll be in there.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Is it
what do you
Fox?
like? Fox? No,
it's not Fox.
It's not Fox. He has a name. Like it's just a normal name.
A normal name.
It's actually very simple. One syllable.
One syllable?
One syllable. Very similar to Fox, except he's super important to Quebec.
Yes, very important to Quebec.
I don't know shit about
him,
Quebec
wouldn't be Quebec.
Yeah. It couldn't even get started, really.
Couldn't even get started.
Ass.
English people really love
his name is Ass. That's the famous Star Trek character
Ass with 2 Z's.
Colonel Ass, maybe.
Colonel Ass. Wait, you have to show another photo of him like being sassy. The sassier, the better,
He's
and
sassy?
you'll figure it out.
Okay, you're saying he's important to English people too?
Well, not important to English people, but English people love.
He's more.
I don't know how to work that into it.
Yeah.
I would say that he has fans. He has many fans. And he's very important, but for the English, he's kind of towards the end. But if you're in Quebec, he is truly one of the most important things. He's the first. He's the first thing you'll think of when you think Quebec.
To do this?
Our hints are really good.
He's absolutely, when you think of Quebec, he's the
Church?
first thing that pops. What?
No, not church.
Church? That's what I think of when I think of Quebec and like England. I don't know these friggin' white people.
You keep showing the version of him that's like regal when you should be showing the versions of him that are like, what up, baby? Like, where's the version of him in the mariachi band? You got it.
Wait, is it something dumb like sex?
His name is Sex. You think Star Trek was like, my name is
But like
Sex.
a version of that, like Zex.
No.
Is it an actual English word?
It is definitely English. It's definitely English.
What am I working with here? Why are they wearing ponchos and sombreros?
Because he summoned them into existence because he can
finger.
do that.
Yeah.
Because he is literally on par with a god.
Yeah.
I'm over here getting philosophical. Like, what is
he
the
does
root
too,
of humanity?
all the time.
Like,
Faith,
the thing that's important about him
God.
is that there are many of them, and we only know them by one name, but they're they're anonymous people.
Yeah.
But we know them by one name. And they all have the same name.
Wait, okay.
There are many of them.
There are many of them, but we only know them by one name.
Right. And I would say in Quebec, it's the most important part of Quebec.
I know nothing about Quebec. Let's
just say without it, Quebec, you couldn't even say the word.
Q?
You got it. Congratulations.
His name's Q.
Wait, but how is Britain at the end of it?
I said it's in English.
It's towards the end, of the alphabet.
I was thinking of the English Empire.
Oh, I'm aware. I know what you were doing.
That's why they were, we were a little loosey-goosey.
That's why I kept making Quebec jokes, because without it, you couldn't say Quebec.
Yeah, you also, James Bond equipment guy, Q.
When you're like, when you think of Quebec, what do you think of? I'm like, a bunch of old fucking churches.
My favorite part is that he forever now will be Colonel Sex Ass. Old Colonel Sex Ass.
Oh, God.
And you're like, what do you think when you think of Quebec? And I was like, ass.
All right, and final Star Trek character.
There's one more?
There's one more, yeah. Final Star Trek character here, Bronze.
Please don't be any humans. I don't know any of their names.
What is this man's name?
Get the fuck out of here.
Clint Barton.
Got it. Nailed it. 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. He's in the movie.
Colonel Sex Ass.
Yeah.
I got some of them right. I got Worf right.
It's true.
I remembered Worf.
You did.
Look, for seeing only one thing of Star Trek, you have most of the major characters down that matter, right? Like it's, yeah. Everyone else has had 30 years of Star Trek to figure everything out.
That's
You're
true.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very impressed. And you started off at I'm going to say the peak. You started at the top of the mountain. After that, here's what I'll say. If you want to get real Star Trek, go to, I don't know, is it on Discovery? Wherever it's at. Whatever thing has
show?
Star Trek, go watch every Star Trek series because it's all online, Bronze.
It's all on.
But only look up the Q episodes. Just watch those, and you will get a bookend because Q is in the first episode, Q is in the last episode, and Q is in everything in between and like weird moments. And he's just like,
I think
God
most of
who
those,
plays with people. And it's great. They're great. Q is amazing.
Gassy Mexican, actually, giant Star Trek fan, I think has watched all of those on Amazon via watch parties. Though I do think Next Generation was removed and is now on Paramount Plus, so you might not be able to do that anymore.
That's what I was, not Discovery, Paramount Plus. Yeah, here's all I'll say about Star Trek. If you want to get a vibe for what kind of show Star Trek is, in one episode, the A plot is Commander Data being like approached by a woman who's like, look, I would like to have sex with you because, you know, I want to know what that's like. And he's like, well, I am fully functional. And it's that plot line. The B plot? People falling through the ship and getting stuck in the walls. That's the B plot. The A plot is like, Data's gonna have a good time tonight. And then there are people who are like, it's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah.
Great
good show.
But you said I should start with Discovery?
No.
Oh God, no.
Oh God,
no.
You said that's the you said that's the one you want me to.
He said that was the platform. It doesn't. It's Paramount Plus.
Yes, Paramount. I was thinking of Discovery Plus. Here's the problem: every goddamn channel has a something plus.
Yeah.
It's Paramount Plus is where I think it's at.
Yes. That's where most of it is now.
Because when we started this conversation, you said I would love to watch you react.
Oh no! I would love to see you watch Star Trek Discovery because Star Trek Discovery is like, I don't know how to describe it except for it feels like every episode.
You know how
is
Jesse
like
was streaming
8 episodes of something. It's so much is happening, and it's like, all right, we like this idea, and we like this idea, and we like this idea, so let's put all of them in it, and it's crazy. And so I would love to see, because sometimes Star Trek Discovery is like, oh, well, that was fun, and sometimes you're like, what the shit am I watching? And that is, I would love to see your reaction to that, because it's like too much. It's just too much.
Yeah.
So
you know
that's why I brought it up.
You know all your commentary regarding Hawkeye? That was Max's commentary on Star Trek Discovery. Verbatim.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I did like that first contact, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good one. Not bad.
Again, I think it's the best. There's some of the older movies are very good, but I think this is the best, like, recent Star Trek film. And I say recent in that it came out when I was still in high school, so... Yeah. Old man Jesse.
That's pretty old. Yeah.
And it has that lady with the claws like pulling at her skin, and she's like,
yeah, it's the Borg Queen.
Yeah, it's the Borg Queen.
She's great.
Yeah.
The actress is also very good. So.
And then
she was amazing.
Data, and he's like, how long were you considering her offer? And he's like, you know, that bitch ain't nothing to me. I'm Data. And you're like, yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy Data. Yeah. He's like, before an android, that's an eternity.
387 seconds. Yeah, he said it was an eternity. It's like that one novel with IG-88 where like the first 2 chapters actually occur over the course of like 3 seconds because robot speed is so much faster than our speed.
Well, did you know that as robots get older, that the things they see, the FPS they see, actually slows down?
Bringing it back.
Bringing
it back.
No.
That could be an alarm. No. If you go back to the first pitch and modulation that you had, that'd be a great alarm, Bronze, that you could sell, probably.
Play that in the background of the Death Star. No.
No, that wasn't in it. No. You have to do it with Bronze's pitch and modulation to the voice.
No.
That's not even close. What are you
That's not even close. You're so far off.
That's not even in the same realm.
You know who else was far off? Commander William Riker.
You reminded, for some reason, were you channeling Wilford Brimley when you were doing that? Because I really feel like
I did have like a little Wilford.
You had a little Wilford. A little
bit of like
there.
Diabetes. Yeah. There was a little bit in there. Yes,
a little bit.
Right.
Just a smidgen. Yeah. All right, that does it for this week. We'll be talking more Hawkeye next week. There's only 6 episodes, by the way, of Hawkeye. I thought there was more, but there's only 6.
No. It's a short. It's literally designed to end.
Yeah, so we're going
around the holiday time.
We're going to Christmas here soon.
It's a movie. Literally, they just straight up took a movie, cut it into 6 episodes.
Yeah. So that'll be next week, I think. Jesse, you're traveling this weekend. Are you going to be back for next week's show, or are we going to postpone?
I will be back for next week's show. It's the week after that. I'm coming back from Chicago.
Okay.
On Monday. So.
Okay. We'll figure it out then.
Ooh,
so show next week.
Chicago.
We got a live show. Live show in Chicago. If you want to come see Cox and Crendor, we'd love to have you. We're almost sold out though, so like even if you can't make it, just buy a ticket so I can say we sold out.
I'm gonna see what the weather is in Chicago. Oh, you're gonna have a great time. Yeah.
Cold?
Yeah. High of 38, low of 32. Enjoy. Mm-hmm. No snow though. which is rare for this time of the year. Anyways,
man, I didn't like the episode and I butchered Star Trek. I don't think I'm going to be here next week. I'm pretty sure the internet will nuke all of my stuff.
This was some of the most fun I've had giving you a hard time, and I'm going to say years. And I've really put in an effort. I really have. And so, frankly, I enjoyed today. Yeah. If anyone's going to give you a hard, they got to come through me first. And my friend, William Riker!
I'll definitely be putting that up as a clip later today on Twitter. So look forward to that. Let's do some shout outs. Bronze, would you like to start us off? Are you composed? Can you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Do some shout outs. Where can people check you out?
Hello, I'm ThatBronzeGirl. You can find me on Twitter at ThatBronzeGirl. You can find me on Twitch at ThatBronzeGirl. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Halo Infinite, but this week I also plan to dive into Alan Wake Remastered. In addition, I just guested on G4 TV's Invitation to Party D&D episode. It airs on TV today. It's my first time being on TV. Check it out. Battle for Beyond's episode 3 came out, and we just wrapped the first season of Shakar. We're going dark until January, and that's when the second season of Shakar will come out. That's me. I was gone all week hosting Simulation Mode for Age of Empires. You can check that out on Amazon's Crown channel. You have the bridge, Jesse. See, that was a Star Trek reference.
Goddamn, that was good. That was good. Thank you, number one. Honestly, I am this week headed to San Francisco to film a thing. So it involves my parents and the game I'm very passionate about, which is going to be freaking wild. But, when someone says we want to film a thing with you and your parents, I'm not going to say no because that's going to be hilarious. And then I come back and I try to play Final Fantasy XIV's new expansion for like 3 days. And then I fly again to Chicago, where we're doing Cox and Crendor live. So the next 2 weeks are pretty crazy, but it's mostly me traveling and doing things. But when I'm back, then it's, everyone's on vacation, so that's cool. Anyway, I'm sure the new year will have important things. Yeah. That's all that's going on with me. So yeah.
Cool stuff. Good stuff. More Hawkeye. I think we have 4 more weeks of Hawkeye? Does that put us through to the new year?
It's all December. Yeah,
the last 13th, the 20th, and the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll be good. And then we'll start the new year, and that's when we start our Iron Fist we watch, and Bronze will be guiding us through that show, episode by episode. I'll expect full plot summaries, Bronze.
My plot summaries are ass. They're horrible.
Well, we always got to work on them, Bronze, and that's what we do here. We work on things, okay? We work on things.
But are they Colonel Sex Ass? That's the question you should be asking yourself.
Yeah, after the first contact plot summary today, I think you're a shoo-in for always. You're the plot summary explainer of the MCU crew. Me and Jesse are just, we're just tools to help tell the story.
I am a tool. That's true. That's an accurate
where I was
statement.
going with that. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyways, thanks for watching the MCU crew. We'll get this posted up on the old YouTubes later today. We'll see you next week for more. Bye.
Bye.
I didn't know what you would do.
Bye.
Is that how you blow bubbles? Do you say bye?
Bye. No, it's me saying goodbye. I thought we were done.
I was just confused. We're out of here. Bye.
Bye.
One more time, Jesse.
William Riker.
I just meant you saying bye.
Bye.